It's the ultimate test of strategy and skill. The art of manipulation. The power of the big pot. Poker, one of the world's most popular card games, played daily by over 100 million people around the world. What's the draw? Poker has become the most exciting way to turn a tiny investment into a multi-million-dollar fortune. Just ask Chris Moneymaker, who wrote a $40 online tournament buy-in to the biggest jackpot in poker, the $2.5 million top prize at the 2003 World Series of Poker.
I love it.
Your grandma probably told you you can't win gambling, but your grandma lied.
Mike Caro, the legendary mad genius of poker, has been the world's foremost poker strategist for over 25 years. He's published 9 books, released numerous instructional videos, performed endless computer simulations, and helped thousands become master players with his poker seminars. Now, in cooperation with Mike Caro University of Poker, he shares his decades of knowledge, his battle-tested tips, tricks, and techniques designed to dramatically increase your odds of winning big.
I spent the last 25 years trying to crack the secret codes and find the mysterious answers to when you should raise, when you should call, when you should fold at poker. Now that I have these answers, I'm ready to share them with you.
And now, direct from the world-famous poker room at the Trump Taj Mahal Resort and Casino in Atlantic City, Mike Caro hosts Texas Hold'em, the winning strategy. Since its earliest roots in 1800s New Orleans, poker has always been a money game. It's believed to be an American adaptation of the European game poke. The game made a huge splash on the celebrated Mississippi riverboats of the late 19th century, where it is estimated there were 2,000 professional riverboat gamblers. By the 1950s, poker found a new home in the casinos of Las Vegas, where many players discovered they could earn a living at the game. Poker officially reached legendary status in 1970 when the first Poker World Championship was held at Binion's Casino in Las Vegas. There are many variations on the game, but only one that's universally recognized as the ultimate test of skill, strategy, and composure. Texas Hold'em. And only one man has dedicated his life to uncovering the secrets of big poker profits, Mike Caro.
Today I'm going to show you more than just how to break even at poker. I'm going to show you how to win big time. I'm going to show you how to play the right cards at the right time in the right ways.
Here's what you'll see in this program. First, we'll brush up on the basics of Texas Hold'em, game variations, the rules, and hand rankings. Then, you'll discover how to play Hold'em using Mike Caro's Own the Table system. We'll go over how to approach a table, your possible hole cards, and playing after the flop. Then, we'll take your knowledge to the next level with our hints for no-limit play. In the Advanced Strategy section, you'll learn how to figure out what hand your opponent is holding, even when they don't say a word. Remember, we also have a special bonus section. Mike Caro's Internet Tips and Techniques will have you earning profits and playing like the pros from your own home computer. Before we get to Mike's time-tested tips, let's go over some Hold'em basics. To win the money wagered in any poker hand, you either need to hold the strongest cards at the end of the hand, or you've got to bluff your way to victory. In a Texas Hold'em showdown, the best 5-card poker hand, selected from among 7 cards, wins the game. There are 2 variations of Texas Hold'em, limit and no limit. In limit games, you always bet or raise a pre-established amount. You have no choice. In no-limit games, you can bet as many chips as you have in front of you. Placing a limit on the bet eliminates the risk of losing your entire bankroll on one hand. a risk that always exists in a game of no-limit hold'em. In a casino, or any game in which a dealer is provided, the dealer position is represented by a token, referred to as the button. The button moves one spot to the left after each hand, just as the deal would if you were playing at home. A player that is sitting on the button is simply sitting in the dealer position and acts last. Before the cards are dealt, played. But before Mike Caro teaches you how to own the table, you need to understand his first law of hold'em strategy. Poker is fundamentally different from other games of chance.
There are literally thousands of people making their living playing poker. But you've never heard of a professional crapshooter or a professional roulette player? Poker's where it's at. And today, once you've learned the system that I am going to lay out for you, you will be one of those winners. You will be a virtual chip magnet.
The first part of the Own the Table strategy requires you to gather information about the game you're going to enter.
Observation is very important at poker. If you were playing some other kind of casino game, it wouldn't really matter how attentive you were. But at poker, all kinds of things are happening that are pure profit to you.
First, you need to find a table that you can dominate.
First thing I look for is laughter. If I see a table filled with laughter, I know those people are there to play poker for fun and not for profit. That's the table I want to be at. And I'm going to laugh right along with them as I win their money.
And winning money at a table like this becomes even easier when it's filled with a specific type of player.
I want players to call a lot of pots, but I don't like them to raise a lot. I want them to come in when they have the worst of it with inferior hands, but I don't want them to take advantage of the situation when they have superior hands.
Next, determine the tight and loose players at the table.
What do those words mean? A tight player is simply one who is very conservative and doesn't get involved in a lot of pots. A loose player is just the opposite. A player who is pretty frivolous and gets involved in a lot of pots.
Mike's law of position says where you sit could determine how much profit you take away.
There are seats that are better than others, and it has nothing to do with luck. It has nothing to do with superstition. It has to do with poker science. You see, I've analyzed millions of hands, and it turns out that when you have someone to your right who is loose, you'll make a lot more money than having a tight player to your right.
Mike's law of position is pretty obvious when you consider that money and betting move clockwise around the table. That means loose money should be coming from your right.
That gives a positional advantage. And that means you will make most of your money for your lifetime from players on your right.
And keep in mind, you'll also have a positional advantage when you're in a late position, meaning on or near the button, because you can see what all of the other players are doing before you. And you are at a disadvantage in an early position, on or near the blinds, because you will have to act first.
Bet. Call.
3-6, this wins.
Cool.
Now let's take a look at what to do when those first two cards are dealt. When the two hole cards come your way, you should immediately determine which of the 4 P hands you have. Power hand, probable hand, possible hand, or pathetic hand. This will determine your betting strategy before the flop. There are 11 power hands to look for. They include any pair from 10s to aces, as well as ace-king suited, ace-king mixed, ace-queen suited, king-queen suited, ace-jack suited, and ace-10 suited. Mike's calculation says you receive a power hand once every 20 hands. Mike says you can play these hands from any position. Power hands are so strong, it's difficult to misplay them. But Mike's advice on betting power